Is my wife lying to me about where she was? My wife and I used to share locations on our iPhones for safety's sake and both have access to the Find My feature for each other's devices. A couple of months ago, she told me she was going shoe shopping and I really thought nothing of it. I talked to her back and forth about it while she was out. Nothing new, nothing strange. I have had no reason at all, to my knowledge, to never trust her implicitly with pretty much anything. I was updating her work address on her phone, she recently changed offices, and the little map popped up and I noticed her location was strange. It was nowhere near where any of the stores are. But it was exactly where a guy we both know lives, basically at a street that dead ends near a forest preserve. At first, I thought it must be messed up somehow. We had been at his place in the last week, but I refreshed it a few times over the next hour and it always placed her at his house. The dot would move around a bit, but it was always within the confines of his property. I know firsthand that if it can't connect, it'll say something to that effect. So, I continued to talk with her and she kept talking about shoe shopping and errands. At this point I was starting to get upset. Later she texted me that she was on her way home. About 15 minutes later, refreshing showed her on the streets that lead back to our house. As soon as she walked in the door, she told me she decided to not buy any shoes at the shop because she wanted to compare prices online where it'd be cheaper. We were talking for a bit, and I said I don't want to make a big deal about this, but my phone said you were at this guy's house and it worried me. She said it must be wrong, it must just be listing when we were both there last week. She said this so quickly and with no reaction that it threw me off. She was annoyed and I said, okay, if you say so I believe you. I dropped it and never brought it up again. A few days later she chastised me for accusing her of being there. I said I felt it was fair to ask, that I did so in the kindest way I could, and that I dropped it. She never brought it up afterward. I also confirmed with a mutual friend that she never brought this up in conversation between them, which seemed odd because she otherwise shares practically everything with that person. Things in our relationship have been kind of off for a while. We've been going to couples counseling, etc. Other things have gone good or bad since then, but I just cannot forget the situation. I have never had that location feature work that way before and frankly I am 99% certain she is lying to me about it. I've already been wondering if the relationship is worth salvaging for a variety of reasons, but for me this would be the deal breaker. I just don't see a point if she'd lie to me so casually and repeatedly, about this. Could I be wrong about the location? I don't know and that's kind of the hard part. I'm also worried it'll blow up in my face, although on some level I'd rather know if she'll continue to lie to me about this. I honestly feel like I need to ask this again, just to get it out there and see what her reaction is. Any thoughts? Comment. You should have driven over there. Now that you confronted her with no evidence beyond the tracking app, she will hide her location going forward. At any rate, you're being cheated on, whether you need more. I'm going, while she's there shoe shopping, as a pizza delivery driver, disguised in nothing but a hat, smiling into the Ring camera, while hiding my Polaroid under the boxes and the Chris Hansen film crew in the bushes. I understand completely what you're saying bro, similar situation for me. I'm already completely over the relationship in a lot of ways and I could go to the effort to find evidence of her cheating but at the end of the day you don't need to. Just leave, the fact you have to look for evidence at all means it's already over. You're allowed to leave now, don't need the proof. No it isn't and when you trust someone and then they do something that makes you doubt their trust, there is a lot of mind games you play on yourself to try and convince yourself that what you feel and think isn't true because the truth hurts. Betrayal is the worst pain I have ever felt in my life and I am sorry you are going through this. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. Let me tell you this, my husband would drive there and park on the front porch. I'm going to give you some tough love right now, women want a man. A man does not act like a lovesick 19-year-old girl afraid of offending by asking common sense questions. A man takes charge of the situation. The second you take charge in the situation, she's going to want to save the relationship. And you should make the effort to do that, but don't ever go back this wimpy sad sack character you're playing right now. You two might just reignite a fire when you step into your proper roles. The first problem here is that you are wishy-washy on protecting yourself. If you had any doubt about her being there, you should have driven there directly. Who cares if anyone sees you or recognizes you? No one else is going to protect you or your interests. If I had these doubts, I would hire a pie. He doesn't need to hire a pie, come on. Why make this more dramatic than it is? They're unhappy with their marriage, and he strongly suspects she's cheating. Just get a divorce lawyer and start planning. Even in at-fault divorces, there is rarely a greater financial reward, and most of the time you have to prove you used joint assets to pay for the affair. This is why he should speak to an attorney as his first step. Chances are, hiring a PI will be a waste of money, especially now that he's already played his hand. If he can't afford a divorce, then he should stay with his cheating wife. I don't know what else to say about it. You say that you used to share locations. Does that mean she's since disabled that feature? That's a huge red flag all by itself. It's very unlikely that the location services were wrong and just happened to show her at his place. Talk to this guy, preferably in person so you can watch his reaction. Don't ask him if your wife was there, and him why she was there. Your wife claims she wasn't there at all. He may say she dropped by to pick something up and show that she was lying. At this point all you have is a strong suspicion that something is up. Do you have permission to check each other's phones? Is she acting extra cautious with her phone, like closing it when you walk in, angling it away from you so you can't see, always setting it face down? All of those are strong tells that she's doing things she wants to hide from you. Good luck to you, op. You're in a really sucky position at the moment. The hard truth you need to face is that she doesn't have to give you any closure, which is I'm sure what you're seeking. A person will lie about something they know they've done until they die if they think it will protect them in some way. You will go crazy waiting for the truth with people like that. A person who respects you would not have turned off location sharing, and would not have been angry at you for calling her out on something you brought up because it was weird. The only thing you need to base your closure on, is that you can't trust this woman anymore. Even if she didn't lie, and it was a GPS error, the other behavior, anger at you for asking, removing sharing afterwards, would still be enough to show this was an abusive relationship. The only way I would have allowed GPS uncertainty to win is if she actually had purchased a bunch of shoes and had the receipts to prove it. Next story 2. I caught my wife cheating, but I am dependent on her, and still love her. I've been married with, we call her Emily, for 5 years, always believing in the foundation we built together. When she got the opportunity for a new job in a different city, I didn't hesitate. We packed our bags, and I moved with her, leaving behind my steady job and the life we'd known. I thought, this is what you do for love, right? Trying to establish myself in this new city as an HVAC contractor hasn't been easy. Despite my efforts, calls have been low, and job opportunities have been even lower than ever. There have been many nights when I felt defeated, questioning our decision to move. She does help me a bit financially until I get myself together, but I feel like a complete S and a burden. Also, we did speak about getting a child together once I managed to get more customers. Besides this personal struggle, I noticed Emily growing close with a colleague, let's name him Mark. Initially, I thought it was just a friendly bond. But the later homecomings, constant messages, and the distance I felt from Emily made my doubts creep in. One evening, her phone flashed with a message from Mark that said, "Don't pretend like you didn't feel the same thing." When I read that, I felt like I passed out, and tried to convince myself that it was work-related. But let's be honest, how stupid does that sound? They are both lawyers, and he has a great income and is good-looking. I couldn't go more than 2 days before taking it up with her. Confronting her was the hardest thing I've done. She admitted to crossing a line with Mark, saying it was a mistake and that she still loved me. I want to believe her. I want to believe in us. But the pain of her betrayal, combined with the struggle to find my base in this new city, has left me feeling isolated and broken. She admitted that she kissed with him, but nothing more has happened, and that is confirmed by the way. She wrote a very respectful message to Mark, indicating that their relationship should be kept at a professional level, and nothing more than that. My self-confidence is completely gone, and all I can think about is her and Mark when she is working. This has been 2 weeks ago, and those hours when she is working has been the longest ever. It's like I always want to observe her, but at the same time I don't want to be that guy. I am anxious all the time, when a message kicks in, when she is just 5 to 10 minutes late from work, even when I'm preparing food for us and she is in the dining room. Basically it has just been a nightmare. And my job situation is definitely not making it better, making me kind of dependent on her, so I just have to obey everything and not be too anxious. Posting this online because, with this whirlwind of emotions, I need guidance. Would it even be possible to forgive something like that? What about kids? What about the future? I've sacrificed so much, and for what? Moving was the worst decision ever. Comment. I feel like you need a break from her. Get out on your own and prove to yourself you can do it. Lean into your fears. Being dependent on her like this isn't doing either of you any good. I know if it were me, I'd be having major trust problems with her going forward because of her actions, and that wouldn't be fair to me. Especially while she still worked around Mark. My advice, leave. Move north. HVAC is a license to print money up here. If she's really that into you, she'll follow. But from the outside looking in, I don't know if I'd want her to. Let her go be with Mark. There really is no point to a break, so she can go explore options W the other guy. Don't give her that option up, stand up for yourself and break up. I assume you want better for your life, no. I only know of it secondhand, but yet it's a good racket in most of the country. Not going to be rich, but it's super comfortable living. On to the real issue. Dude is hating himself and life on account of being dragged around. Get the fuck out. He is losing respect for himself and she doesn't seem to have any either. Move on. Value yourself. Find someone else who feels the same. Open and shut case. He should get out. He's extrapolating a lot from what you wrote. Not everyone has been in this position. I didn't see anything that you wrote that indicated she was actually fucking him. Now if you want to move forward with her, then you have to lay down the rules. A lot of people would say that she should leave the job where the affair partner is. But I'm not sure how practical that is. Second, marriage counseling. Third, you have to rebuild trust. That includes that you have access to her phone. Wishing you the best, stranger, in this difficult time. I'm not sure where you live, but where I live HVAC people are in high demand. Especially those who install heat pumps. I hope you find something soon, but before that, I don't think you need to make any decisions right now. Take some time. Live off her for a while. Maybe if you need a break from her, fly somewhere nice. Depending where you live, half of what she makes is yours. Just be kind to yourself right now. Join a gym, get in great shape. Obviously don't have sex with her for now. But I hope you start getting looks from other women. At some point maybe the two of you will work through this, or maybe you will decide against her. But right now, you don't have to hurry into anything. This has nothing to do with your desirability as a man or a partner. It has more to do with her. It's a superficial stupidity, that wouldn't last past a week in the open. Your wife's affair partner does not have integrity. Unfortunately, neither does your wife.